times have you, my college peers, have waited until the last minute to study for an exam or do a project? How many times have you not gotten the grade that you wanted because you waited until the last minute and crammed everything in? According to a study done by Professors Richard Oram and Joseph Aroxa, authors of Academically Adrift, college students are now studying 50% less than they did a few decades ago. It's worrying to see the lack of work ethic in college students nowadays when it comes to studying, so I propose that college students set a routine, study in groups, and change the work environment, as well as a few other things. I have to admit, I was a victim to this at one point. My first semester of freshman year, I had a final on the second day, Tuesday of finals week. It was my first college final, so you figure I would prepare in abundance. You figure I would study a good bit. It's the exact opposite. I procrastinated studying until Monday night. I went to some parties over the weekend, and I got a C on my first college final. That was kind of eye-opening for me because in the past in high school, I was used to studying at the last minute, cramming everything in, getting an A still, whatever. That first final changed me. Starting in my second semester, I studied in abundance for everything that I could, and I ended up acing all of my finals in my second semester freshman year. That first final was what really opened my eyes to the problem of college students and their bad study habits. My first solution I'm going to propose is to create a routine. You can set aside extra time for studying. You can stop doing miscellaneous activities that are unproductive, such as watching Netflix, stuff like that. I mean, you can still do them, but just do them less. Now, if you come over here and look at this visual, you can see an average of what a student days look like back in 2005, 2009. You can see the distribution of 8 hours sleeping, 2.3 hours miscellaneous, an eighth of an hour grooming, an hour eating and drinking, 1.5 traveling, 2.9 work, 3.5 leisure and sports, and an extra 3.6 for educational activities. Now, most college students nowadays aren't really going to be too much into leisure and sports, and a lot of college students also don't have jobs, so you figure that's another 6 hours you can open up along with the almost 2.5 miscellaneous hours to add to the 4 hours of educational activities. This is just one way, is if you take time from other activities that you do, excess time, and put it towards studying. Set a routine, set the time you want to study. That'll greatly improve your work ethic. In a 2010 study done by Philippa Laley of the College of London, it took on average 66 days for a group of 100 volunteers to form a routine. That means in the first 2 months of class, fall semester, you can start a routine when work is the lightest, the workload is the lightest, and you can form a routine that'll last the rest of the semester, maybe the year, maybe years to come. My second solution is to study with your peers, friends, make some new friends in some classes, whatever it may be. It is actually easier to retain information in groups as you have more time to, talk about answers, talk about questions, discuss what you want to discuss, and just talk about your ideas. There's also added motivation from studying with friends. When you see other people studying around you, you're naturally going to want to do your work, to keep up with them, to do your thing, to play your part, in a sense. This actually applied to me as when I was in economics my second semester freshman year. I was in economics, and I could not comprehend the material for the life of me. I was just trying and trying and trying. Nothing worked. Went to a study group with my friend, some of his friends. It worked tremendously. Now, the third solution I'm going to propose is a change in the place that you study. If you have a a lot of college students like to study Starbucks, in their dorm, just random places. But it actually, if you have new scenery around you when you're studying, you'll create new associations with the work that you're doing, this material you're studying, whatever it may be. Benedict Carey, author of How We Learn, And a longtime science writer actually stated that changing context and changing environment can aid in retention. Just changing the place you study can also improve your desire to want to study. You could say, oh, I want to go to Starbucks today, but you can add studying to that. So it's something that you enjoy while you're studying. Studying, not everyone enjoys it, so if you add some aspects of what you enjoy to it, you'll want to do it more. And you'll enjoy the time while you're doing it more than you would. If you'll come over here, I actually have a PowerPoint for my fourth solution. My fourth solution I'm going to propose to you is putting the smartphone away. Yes, smartphones, everybody has them nowadays. I don't know a single person who doesn't unless they're below the age of 5 years old. And everyone knows they can be a hindrance at times. Even when you're studying, smartphones are a great distraction. You can look in your smartphone, you say, oh, I'm going to go on Instagram. Who posted what? Maybe I should text this person, start up a conversation, see how they've been. You can even play phone games or whatever you want to do. It just distracts you from studying. It also prevents full comprehension, and it takes away from the effectiveness of what you're trying to retain or the project you're trying to complete. Now, Dr. Adrian Ward, an actual psychologist and a professor at the Macomb Macomb School of Business, he said that having a smartphone around, not even on it, just around a study space, can lower cognitive abilities such as logical reasoning, problem solving, creativity, as well as others. Some sub actions you can take other than just turning it off. You could obviously turn it off. You could place it in another room, in a drawer, find some place for it. You can ask a friend, hold it for you. Say, hey, can you hold this for me for the next hour or two so I don't get distracted? You could use the lock feature on apps on your phone. I believe they have apps where if you set something on them, you can actually lock certain apps so that you can't access them. And there's just some other things you can do on there. Come up with your own way, just anything to just prevent the distraction of a smartphone. Now, while I preach it, I will admit that I have experienced it. I know it's very hard, and I have stopped studying to go on my phone a lot of times in college. Even the last semester this year, there's been so many times where I just go on my phone, get distracted, spend an hour on there for no good reason. But I try to stop myself when I can, and I tell my friends, I'll say, hey, if I text you, please don't respond and tell me to get back to work. With the amount of people I've talked to and seen online, it is clear that a significant amount of college students need to improve their study habits. They can do these through ways such as turning off their smartphone. You can study with your peers, change your work environment, start a routine. There's endless ways that you can do this. I want to call on you, each and every one of you in this room, my fellow college peers, to try one of the things that I've suggested today if you're ever trying or finding yourself in a struggle to study or just don't want to study. I'm going to leave with a quote from the great Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison once said, if we did all the things we were capable of, we would literally astound ourselves. Thank you.